Good evening, everyone. Let's talk about something real, something raw, something misunderstood. We live in a world that tells women, cling, please, shrink, mold yourself. That to be loved, you have to prove your worth, chase, wait, fix, or worse. Lose yourself, but today, I want to flip that idea on its head. Because men are extremely attracted to women who detach, and no, I don't mean women who are cold or closed off. I'm talking about women who are whole. Women who love deeply but do not beg. Women who give but do not sacrifice their soul. Women who know when to walk away. Not out of ego, but out of self-respect, you see. Detachment isn't about indifference. It's about power. It's about knowing that your love is a gift, not a currency to trade for validation. It's about not needing someone to choose you, because you've already chosen yourself. The woman who detaches doesn't do it to play games. She does it because her peace matters, because she refuses to be part of anyone's confusion, because she knows she is not here to prove her worth. She is the worth, and here's the truth. Men feel that energy. The mystery, the magnetism, the calm. There's nothing more alluring than a woman who isn't trying to be liked, because she already likes herself. She doesn't chase, she attracts. She doesn't beg, she blesses. In that kind of woman, she's unforgettable. So to every woman listening, be soft, be kind, be loving. But be ready to let go the moment your value isn't seen. That's not weakness, that's power, that's detachment. And trust me, there's nothing more attractive than that. Detachment is often misunderstood. Many people hear the word and instantly think of emotional coldness, a lack of empathy, or even arrogance. But in truth, detachment, especially in the context of a self-assured woman, is none of those things. It is not about shutting people out or building emotional walls. It's about having the wisdom and strength to know when to hold on and when to let go. It's a quiet power that doesn't scream for attention, but commands respect. A woman who practices healthy detachment is not unkind, and she is not indifferent. She simply chooses to prioritize her own emotional balance. She can love deeply and genuinely, but she will not allow that love to become a form of self-abandonment. She knows that losing herself in someone else isn't romance, it's a slow erosion of identity. And so, she creates space where her sense of self is protected. That space becomes her strength. People often mistake this strength for aloofness, but it's actually clarity. The detached woman isn't playing games. She's not trying to manipulate or confuse anyone. She's just rooted in self-awareness. She doesn't overextend herself to earn affection or try to control how someone feels about her. She lets people reveal themselves, she observes, she listens, and if something doesn't align with her peace or her values, she gracefully steps back. This kind of emotional discipline is magnetic. It creates a sense of mystery and calm around her. People can feel it. Men especially are drawn to this kind of quiet confidence because it challenges the usual dynamics. She's not chasing, convincing, or clinging. She's just being, authentically, fully, unapologetically. And in doing so, she becomes a mirror. She reflects a man's own insecurities or his readiness to meet her where she stands. Either way, she's unbothered by the outcome. In a world where many are desperate to be seen, a detached woman stands out not because she tries harder, but because she doesn't need to. She's already chosen herself, and that energy is rare. It's refreshing. And above all, it's irresistible. Self-worth is the foundation of everything a woman brings into her life, especially her relationships. When a woman truly knows her worth, she stops looking outward for permission to feel valuable. She no longer tries to convince anyone of her importance, because deep down, she already knows she matters. Her sense of identity doesn't come from who loves her, who texts her back, or who validates her choices. It comes from within. From a place of quiet certainty that she is enough, exactly as she is. This kind of inner confidence changes how she moves through the world. She's not desperate to be chosen because she's already chosen herself. She's not waiting on someone else to recognize her value before she feels whole. Whether she's single, dating, or in a long-term relationship, she carries herself with a calm knowing that she brings something meaningful to the table, and that anyone who can't see that isn't meant to sit with her. When a woman doesn't recognize her worth, she often settles. She tolerates mixed signals, half-hearted efforts, and emotional inconsistency, hoping that if she just tries harder, she'll finally be enough for someone. But the woman who knows her worth doesn't operate from lack. She doesn't beg for crumbs of affection because she's not starving for love. She gives love freely, but not at the cost of her dignity. Her boundaries are not threats, they are standards rooted in self-respect. This unwavering sense of worth creates a powerful shift in the dynamic between her and the world. She no longer asks, will they like me? Instead, she asks, do they align with the life I'm building? That shift alone is magnetic. It changes how others respond to her. Men are especially drawn to women who are self-assured because they sense the emotional independence, the poise, and the lack of neediness. She doesn't make people feel responsible for her happiness. That's her job. And that energy is both freeing and attractive. Ultimately, a woman who knows her worth becomes untouchable in the best way, not because she's unreachable, but because she cannot be diminished. She is not defined by anyone else's opinion, and that makes her radiant, grounded, and unforgettable. Love, when it's pure, is never a bargaining chip. But too often, women are conditioned to treat their love as a form of currency, something they give in hopes of receiving validation, commitment, or approval in return. This mindset creates an imbalance, turning love into a transaction rather than a natural expression of emotion. But a woman who truly understands herself knows that her love is a gift, not something to be traded or earned through effort, sacrifice, or self-denial. When a woman sees her love as a gift, she offers it from a place of abundance, not need. She gives because it feels authentic, not because she's hoping it will make someone stay. She doesn't perform to be chosen. Her love doesn't come with conditions like only if you treat me right or only if you choose me back. It flows freely, but only to those who have earned the privilege through respect, consistency, and genuine connection. There is something deeply powerful about a woman who can love deeply without losing herself. She doesn't try to prove her value through overgiving, overcompensating, or overextending. She knows that love is not a strategy to keep someone close. If someone walks away, she lets them. Not because she's cold or unaffected, but because she understands that real love cannot be forced or manipulated. It must be mutual, and it must be free. People often confuse this kind of confidence with being emotionally detached or aloof, but it's the opposite. It's emotional maturity. It's the understanding that love, no matter how deeply felt, is not an excuse to abandon your self-respect. She knows that if love is real, it won't require begging or chasing. It will meet her where she stands fully and honestly. When a woman no longer uses love as a means to an end, she liberates herself. She stops trying to earn what should be given freely. She no longer sees heartbreak as failure, but as redirection, and most importantly, she keeps her heart open, just not unguarded. Her love is warm, generous, and real, but she knows that giving it doesn't guarantee it will be returned. And she's okay with that, because her value doesn't come from who accepts her love. It comes from the strength it takes to offer it without needing anything in return. A woman who values her inner peace is a force of nature. In a world full of noise, pressure, and emotional chaos, she chooses calm. Not because life is always calm, but because she refuses to let anyone or anything disturb the sanctuary she's created within herself. She has learned, sometimes the hard way, that her peace is not just a luxury, it's a necessity, and once she's found it, she protects it like a treasure because she knows it took strength, healing, and self-awareness to build. This kind of woman doesn't tolerate energy that drains her. She may love you, she may care for you deeply, but the moment she senses consistent confusion, emotional inconsistency, or disrespect, she pulls away. Not out of anger or resentment, but out of clarity. She's not trying to punish anyone. She simply understands that her mental and emotional well-being must come first. She has no interest in drama disguised as passion, or in chaos mistaken for connection. She no longer stays in situations that rob her of sleep, self-esteem, or stability. She understands that peace is not just found in quiet moments alone, but also in the quality of relationships she allows into her life. Conversations should be honest. Presence should feel safe. Love should feel like home, not like war. So when something disturbs that balance repeatedly, she lets go, even if it hurts. She knows that peace is not the absence of love, but often the product of self-love. What makes this woman especially powerful is her ability to walk away without bitterness. She doesn't need to make a scene. She doesn't wait to be pushed to her breaking point. She quietly chooses herself, and in that silence is a message louder than any argument. I will not abandon myself to keep you. That calm, collected eggs, it is often the moment others realize what they lost. There's a quiet elegance in prioritizing peace. It speaks volumes. It makes her presence feel rare, her energy sacred. Men and people in general are drawn to her, not just for what she gives, but for how she makes them feel, grounded, safe, respected. She is not desperate for attention because she's already at home within herself, and that kind of peace, it's magnetic, unforgettable, and absolutely worth protecting. Confidence is one of the most magnetic qualities a woman can embody. But real confidence isn't loud or performative. It's subtle, quiet, and deeply rooted in self-awareness. It's in the way she walks into a room without needing everyone to notice her, yet somehow they do. It's in the way she speaks, not to impress, but because she has something meaningful to say. A woman who carries this kind of inner confidence doesn't need to prove herself. She simply exists in her truth, and that alone draws people in. What makes her energy so compelling is that it's not dependent on others. She doesn't seek external approval to feel beautiful, intelligent, or worthy. She already knows she is, and that certainty radiates from her without effort. People around her sense that she's not easily shaken. She's not playing a role. She's not overly concerned with being liked. She's focused on being authentic, and in a world full of pretenses and insecurity, that authenticity becomes captivating. Men, in particular, are drawn to this energy because it's rare. They can feel when a woman is grounded in herself, when she's emotionally steady, and when she's not looking for someone to complete her. She doesn't rely on validation to fill a void. She's already whole. Her confidence isn't arrogant, and it doesn't come from dominance. It comes from peace, from the way she knows who she is and what she deserves. From the way she doesn't chase after anything that threatens to take her out of alignment with that truth. This woman doesn't need to compete for attention because her presence already commands it. She's not loud in her confidence, but you feel it in her silence. You feel it in the way she says no, without apology, in the way she smiles without needing a reason, in the way she walks away when something no longer serves her. That kind of confidence is irresistible, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. Her magnetism isn't about how much she gives to others to be accepted, but how fully she accepts herself, and that is the secret. Confidence, when it's genuine, doesn't scream, it doesn't seek, it simply is asterisk. And in that quiet knowing, she becomes the kind of woman who is not just seen, but deeply remembered. There's something undeniably powerful about a woman who doesn't chase, who simply attracts. She moves through the world with an energy that says, I don't need to convince anyone to stay. That kind of presence is magnetic. She understands that her worth isn't tied to how hard she fights for someone's attention or affection. Instead, she embodies the truth that what is meant for her will never need to be forced. Her focus is not on pursuit but alignment. She's not asking, how do I make them want me? She's asking, do they naturally align with the life and energy I'm cultivating? This woman does not play games or manipulate. She's not detached out of fear, nor is she emotionally unavailable. On the contrary, she's full of love, softness, and depth, but only for those who approach her with respect and clarity. She knows her love is not a tool to lure someone in. It's something sacred to be shared with someone who sees her fully and shows up consistently. So she doesn't chase, she doesn't beg, she allows. Attracting, in this sense, means she trusts the process. She knows that when she's in alignment with herself, when she's at peace, confident, and whole, she will naturally draw in the right people and repel the wrong ones. She doesn't cling to what isn't flowing. She lets things fall away if they no longer resonate, not because she's heartless, but because she honors herself too much to hold on to what feels heavy, unclear, or one-sided. People are drawn to her not because she demands their attention, but because they feel something different in her presence. She's not needy, she's not performing, she's just being, fully, unapologetically, and gracefully. That kind of authenticity is rare, and it stands out in a world filled with performance and pretense. When she attracts rather than chases, her relationships shift. She doesn't spend her energy convincing someone to choose her. She simply observes who steps up, who shows consistency, and who matches the frequency she lives by. And if no one does, she's still whole, still radiant, still deeply content. That is the essence of feminine power, not in how loudly she demands to be seen, but in how effortlessly she becomes unforgettable just by being herself. Thank you.